Welcome to the Flicks, Picks, and the Nitpicks, and I'm your humble host, Nove. And we're gonna review the first episode of Boyz. This is gonna be the first one I'm gonna watch with you guys. I'm gonna try and binge it out. I'm gonna stop eating pretzels. I'm just real hungry. And it is not July actually, it's August 1st, yeah. And let's talk about it, man. I saw it last night. First off, the trailers. I posted the trailer already. My trailer review. It looks very Zack Snyder-esque, like a couple of the people said. But I like this type of stories. It looked funny as all hell. Like they were just gonna go all the way out there with it. And especially with the kid that ran into that chick and turned her to mush. That joint was funny as shit. But it was gonna be very stylized, but very dark comedy. But there was gonna be, I wouldn't be surprised if there's layers of drama in it, wrapped in some sort of sense of satire. And I'm all for it. I like this. I like this different type of I like Doom Patrol, which I'll do a whole series review on. And I know we normally about the flicks and the movies, but I wanted to do some series reviews of things that's going on that maybe that we could just talk about together, man. So I'm gonna do a quick one here, and I'm list a couple of my picks. But first off, this is the first episode of The Boyz, and it doesn't have like too many. The kid that stars in Shaft, he's in it, which is cool because it's cool to see him do like working. I feel like I've seen him in some other stuff, but I can't put my finger on it right now. But clearly, you can tell they're a spoof of the Justice League. They explore all different types of taboos in the underworld of the superhero. I mean, it's very rated R. It's basically about how this world in which superheroes are like celebrities, and there's money behind it. There's politics behind it, and there's gonna be cover-ups and things of that nature because you want to make sure these guys are brands now. And because they're a brand, there's money invested in them and they could lose money if anything happens around it. So now it's when heroes and superheroes at that become corporate. And what if these heroes aren't just like people of integrity? They're just like human beings. They could be just as ugly as any other person. And the fact that they have powers, you almost wonder if it's just them or it's because of the powers that they feel like they could be whatever they want to be, but that's only just going to expose who they already are deep down inside. That said, I mean, you follow the series through the eyes of this character. I forget his name. Let me pull it up. Jack Quaid. Oh, I hear he's Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan's kid, and I believe I kind of see it. How about that? Excuse me. But anyway, and they have the face of Black Noir, right? Nathan Mitchell. Or I wonder if they actually show him without the mask in it. But I'm only on episode 1. Now, Jack Quaid plays Hughie Campbell. So Hughie, is it Hughie? Huey, it's Huey. Yeah, I remember now. It's Huey. I was about to say, why is it spelled like that? But it's Huey Campbell. And basically, he has a life. Lives with his dad, though. But, he has a girlfriend that loves him. He thinks about doing something more with her, but unfortunately, a superhero speedster from their version of the Justice League, the Seven, which is sponsored by a corporation called the Vault. You know what I mean? Runs right into her. She turns to mush, and he just says, "I can't stop," and keeps going. And this dude is just sitting there holding just her hands, like she turned to mush. That shit was mad funny. And now he is the dude, the kind of nerdy person that runs into Carl Urban's character that is going to recruit him, but basically just use him so he could get closer inside Vault, closer to the Seven, so he could get the information that he needs out of them to basically hold them accountable, by any means necessary. And this dude is down to give it up. And the interesting thing that they decide to do is they also try to make an entry point for the young lady in there. I forget her name right now. I want to say the Sparkler, Spectacles, some shit like that. They don't have her superhero name, but it is Annie January. Interesting name, but she's played by Erin Moriarty. Oh, and Erin Moriarty. Okay, yeah. And she's your entry. She's replacing a fallen member of the Seven, and she looked up to the Seven basically as a child, and trained to be a superhero and be part of the Seven. Eventually, she was able to get into, apply, and through her trials win a spot. And by doing that, you're already entering the world in which she lives, where superheroes do exist. You grow up with them, you will want to be one, and if you actually have powers, you can actually work your way and hope that you got to meet them. But since they're the Seven and they were looking for people, this was an opportunity to fulfill a childhood dream that she wanted, but the dream wasn't exactly what it turned out to be, or that it was cracked up to be, because you have this guy here, and everything here is going to be spoilers, so you know what I mean, like from here on out, so you get turned away now. Yeah, everyone wants to like become these superheroes. You look up to them and yada yada yada. She actually earns a spot fulfilling the dream, and when she fulfills her dream, it's not what it was supposed to be. Like I said, just to even get on the team, they had to deal with one of the Seven saying that, yo, if you don't give it up, basically, I'll say that you swung on me, yada yada yada, and I'll ruin your whole life. In short form, she does the deed, but then now she runs into Huey while he's having his moment of when he's at those crossroads. They meet each other in a park, just happen to be talking to each other, just venting about how they feel. He gave her some suggestions about turning it, into something, to, if this is what you want, if the job is what you want, you work hard for it, then just because you made something happen in the beginning, that don't mean that it has to always be that way. You know what I mean? You just, that happened. She felt a little bit more empowered, and she has a new attitude. But the interesting thing really about it is that you start to see that, well, one of the plot elements is that the guy that ran into Huey's girlfriend, he never apologized. Like, these guys are total assholes. Like, these these are like an asshole superhero group that are sponsored by people. They really don't care. Like, they do it for the gram. Like, you know what I mean? And they getting money. You know, they're millionaires. They about business. And he never cared to apologize, and that really didn't sit right with Huey. And because even one of the last conversations he had with his girlfriend, it was all about, like, you know, sometimes you need to just, you know, step out from underneath your pops, you know, just go out there. You know what I mean? Speak up for yourself. And Carl Urban's character, seeing that he could kind of fish that out of him, he kind of played on his emotions so that he could get close to the Seven, because they were trying to offer Huey money to kind of brush it away and never bring it up again. But he felt the way about it. He was like, this dude didn't even feel like he's sorry. This is a superhero. He even apologized. He even, like, you know, he's saying some real vague shit. Like, you know what I mean? If you feel like I'm at fault, you know, like it's not like you didn't own no parts of this. He said she stepped out in the middle of the street, like she darted out in front of him while he was running at top speed. You're a superhero, bro. You should have seen something. You know what I'm saying? And like Huey felt like, which was a fact, she barely stepped off the curb, bro. Like, he was still holding her hand, and he was on the curb. But needless to say, he said he'd think about their offer, and that was their inroad that Carl Urban played to get close to them so he could bug inside the Seven building so they could figure out or get any kind of evidence so that they can make moves onto the Seven. You know, one of the Invisible Men, and it happened to be the Visible Man, kind of found out about it and came to confront them, and Carl Urban unloaded a can of ass whooping on them. But, you know, the guy was laid some back too. Huey showed up. Long story short, he kind of helped out. Carl Urban pushed him into a live wire that Huey had for him and shocked him up. All she wrote. But how it ends now is with Mr. I forgot the guy's name. The main, their version of Superman, you know, is like using his plasma eye rays or whatever and bringing down a plane. And this is how it ends. Now, the major picks in this film is the fact that they just like are having fun. They're just going at it. You know, they're trying to enjoy and exercise all the kind of ideas that we could come up with in a funny way while bringing some sort of relevant satire to the idea and the commercialization of your so-called would-be heroes and who they really might be behind the scenes, why they may tick, and with these types of powers, if we would be realistic, running at top speed and hitting someone, yeah, you're gonna mash them into potato. You know what I'm saying? But what if these guys just didn't care no more? Like, they just and from what I hear, it seems like it's a little bit more in depth, because the first episode is the first episode for me. I liked it. Don't get me wrong. It's very stylized, very different from Doom Patrol, but I'd have to put it in the same category because Doom Patrol was brave enough to make those leaps in telling stories with superheroes that you can actually embrace a lot of different type of eccentric parts of them and make it actually work in a very entertaining way. And I will have to applaud them on that. You know, one pick in particular is Huey. Huey is one of your main characters that we follow behind, and I think I like this character. I mean, you can tell that he will be the guy that we will watch evolve. It's starting from a more of a, I hate to just throw it out there as spineless, but spineless sort of, for lack of a better way of phrasing it. You can kind of see how by the end of this episode, he is trying to basically redesign how he reacts to these situations. He's calling himself out on it, thinking twice about it. I mean, this is my girl. She died. At what point? At what point do I not speak up? At what point do I not take action? You know, man, shit. But really, yo, it's gonna affect you. You know what I mean? Like, that's your woman. You was holding her fucking hands, and this nigga just smashed up, so, like, but like bloody spills, and he's still holding her hands, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So I think the actor that they got playing him, again, man, I'm at Mr. Quaid. Yeah, Jack Quaid. I do believe that he's going to be an interesting character to see. Will he be like your Jesse, the guy that will completely turn around by the end of the season? And I have a feeling that he will. Called Billy Butcher. Yeah, that's who called Urban plays. Alright, bet. So anyways, the next pick I have is the CG and the aesthetic is actually like pretty damn good for what they're trying to pull off on the I believe it's not Amazon. Is it Amazon series? Yeah. So I was pretty impressed, especially at the end where you see what's that character's name? Oh man, I'm forgetting it because I kind of should know it. The Homelander. Now, I feel like that scene where you see him flying up and he's using the rays bringing down the plane. The CG looked pretty good for what they was trying to express on screen, and it translated pretty well. And especially the scene when the what's her name? I think her name was Queen Maeve, played by Dominique McElligott. Elligot. I know I'm butchering her name, but in any event, I love that scene when like she stopped in front of the Dunbar car, or whatever that was, and it mashed up into her and folded around her. Like, that was done pretty damn good. Like, I have to really respect the effects that they were utilizing to pull a lot of these visual effects off. Especially because, you have to keep it under budget. And this is not one of your bigger streaming sites, At least not at the moment. I mean, they're a big company doing other things. But streaming, they're not Netflix and shit like that. And wait till, like, WB gets their ground, and so does Disney. I mean, this is like everyone's scrambling. You know what I'm saying? And those are the major picks right now, because I'm kind of excited to go into watch a part 2. That's all I can think of at the moment. But now the nitpicks. Right now, I just don't want it to be cheese. I don't want it to be too. I want them to tell the cool story that they have. I know they're gonna. It's more satire, so it's gonna have certain types of messages. But I just want to make sure that they keep a good story intact, while the messages that I'm sure this film was going to present anyway, because I'm sure the source material was a certain level of satire to it, kind of the likes of The Watchmen, if you will. So with that being said, if for God's sake, the stuff it is a spinoff of is a satire of the Justice League. Like, we know this. So outside of, I mean, like knowing that's the thing. I just don't want to see them. How you say? I don't want to say fuck it up. but I don't want them to be more about the message as opposed to telling a good story that will deliver it. You want to keep the story intact as much as possible. So if the story doesn't need that action, then why put it there? And I guess it's it's kind of comedic in a way, but then that's when you have to make sure it's stylized in such a way that it'll work the way it's supposed to. Even for the crude humor it may be going for anyway. And like I said, I don't really have too much nitpicks on it, but that's kind of my one thing. I just don't want them to make it a gimmick of itself. No, this is the world. These are the characters. This is how it moves. And so it can at least express itself organically so the stories can unfold. And all the other messages that I'm sure you want to place in there will, just like sweat bead to the surface the way it needs to. Just drink, give it water. You ain't got to keep splashing them and then throwing all over them like it ain't that deep. It'll be when it's hot and the information needed to be to the surface. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, I pretty much out of nitpicks, I like to say. You know what I mean? Like, that's just where I'm at with it. I'm hearing it gets better as it goes. 8 seasons is amazing. I know it's just the first. But for what they laid down, I'm actually impressed.